Call the Mendocino LAFCO meeting of February 2nd and invite roll call.
Thank you. Good morning. Commissioner Ward.
Here.
Commissioner Klein.
Here.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Present.
Commissioner Horsley.
Here.
Commissioner Mahoney. Commissioner Roden.
Here.
Commissioner Crane. Commissioner Gasca. I do see alternate Commissioner Gasca online. Commissioner Hashek. And Chair Mulhern.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we will move on to item number 2, public expression. The commission welcomes participation in the LAFCO meeting. Any person may address the commission on any subject within the jurisdiction of LAFCO which is not on the agenda. There is a 3-minute limit and no action will be taken at this meeting. Are there any members of the public in Ukiah that wish to come forward at this time? Seeing none, are there any members on Zoom that have their hands raised?
None.
Okay, thank you for that. We'll now move on to item number 3, item 3A and 3B, the announcement of commission appointments and consideration of application for alternate member, public member Bruce Alfano. So item 3A is the members of the County Board of Supervisors, which is staying the same as it was last year, Supervisor Mulhern and Supervisor Klein. And I believe that Mr. Alfano is here is Mr. Alfano here in the audience?
Just wanted to make one comment that the City Selection Committee will be meeting in mid-February, I believe. So Commissioners Roden and Crane, their terms ended December 31st of 2025, and so there will be an appointment or reappointment happening with the City Selection Committee.
Thank you for that clarification. Okay, on to item 3B. Mr. Alfano, did you want to come forward to the podium and introduce yourself? This would be an appointment for the seat with the remainder of term for 2024 through 2027.
Hi, my name is Bruce Alfano. I've been a member, I was a member of LAFCO for about, I believe, 10 or 12 years. Back in the 90s when I was on the City of Willits. I was a member of the City of Willits, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very important and interesting commission. This is not unusual. This is about what used to happen with the amount of people that were interested in it. But I think the 7 of you are very important. I understand the concepts of the commission. I was the chairperson for a period of time. I've been a resident of Mendocino County for 54 years now. And I'm open to any questions.
Are there any questions from the commissioner? Commissioner Ward.
Thank you. Hi, Bruce.
Hi, Jer.
Remember you back in the day? Trying to get rate increases through you was tough. Anyway, back in the 90s, as you say you're a commissioner, what kind of issues were you faced with? Do you call any that you guys had to vote on or deal with?
Wow. A lot of water rights issues that we went through. There was a lot of discussion about that. We didn't deal with many annexations at the time. I think the level of services was very important to us at the time. There were a lot of difficulties with providing adequate services to some of the citizenry. So it seems like we dealt more with that than we did with boundaries.
What about the municipal service reviews and SOIs? Did you do a lot of those, or did you participate in a lot of those?
We did a few of them. Mm-hmm. I don't remember at this point in time whether I could say a lot. I'm not sure.
Okay. Who was the executive officer?
Mary Hyatt.
Okay.
Mary Hyatt was the executive officer for probably 8 of the 10 years I was on the commission.
Well, thank you. I'm glad we finally have somebody step. I can take a break now, and you can come in here and sit here.
It's good to see you.
Good seeing you too, Bruce. Thanks.
I would say, Mr. Alfano, you have excellent memory. Are there any commissioners with questions or comments? Commissioner Gonzalez?
I just want to say I've known Bruce for several years, and I've been very impressed with his engagement as a city council member and just a police officer when he was on the council and
Yeah.
so on. So, but he's very engaged on the city council, so I wouldn't expect he would be engaged in this commission.
Commissioner Roden? Yeah, if you could hit them.
I move that we appoint Bruce Alfano as the alternate public member of LAFCO.
I'll second that.
Thank you. And if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Mahoney?
Yes.
Commissioner Horsley?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Klein?
Aye.
Commissioner Roden?
Yes.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
And Chair Mulhern.
Yes.
Thank you, unanimous.
Thank you. And did you want to do the oath of office now or at the next meeting? Okay.
Might as well get it out of the way.
Yeah, so if you could read into the
Okay.
record the top part.
I, Bruce Alfano, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will and faithfully discharge the duties which I am about to enter. In testimony thereof, I have affixed my hand. Thanks. Can I sign this? I'll stay for a little while. You want this?
As a reminder to all the commissioners, we are streamed live on YouTube and the public can watch it later as well. All right, we will move on to item 4, the consent calendar. We have on the consent calendar the December 1st, 2025 meeting summary, the December claims and financial reports, the January claims and financial reports, and the 2026 calendar of meetings. And at this time, I invite questions or comments on these items. Commissioner Horsley?
Thank you. Just a question of Director Uma. Do you feel there's enough in the budget for the fire MSRs that you will be working on the next 6 months?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ward?
Thank you. I believe it's the December expenses. There was $177 for voter registration. What was that about?
That's part of our application processing, and I believe that was for the Russian River Flood Control District's application. When we receive an application, we have to request the registered voters, a list of registered voters and registered landowners at the time of application. That's for our public noticing process and protest process.
So is that part of the application expense?
It is built to the application, yes.
Okay, good. I know the attachment 2, which is the tracking applications and special projects that are reimbursable. I think it's a fairly new document, and I've been trying to ask how that is put together. Could you go through that one more time?
Sure.
It's a little confusing to me. I don't know, maybe. It's on 16.
So this is a tracking of expenses and deposits to date. So it's not specific to the fiscal year. So this is our tracking of deposits that have been made for the application that we keep, that we work against and that we keep in our checking account. The actuals are the expenses to date, so that may cross several years, fiscal years. The contractor expense is how much is billed from the contractor, from Hinman and Associates. So we bill time to the applications at our service rates, and the contractor's fee are come out of those service fees.
What's the difference, Uma?
So
I mean, it's $10,000 roughly.
So for example, my billing rate is $110 per hour. Our service fee rate is $160 an hour for the executive officer. And so the difference is retained by LAFCO as revenue.
But the money is paid to you each month through an invoice. I mean, the money ends up going to you, correct?
At our billing rate. So that's the difference between the contractor expenses, our time at our billing rates, and then the service fee revenue is the difference. So for example, in the executive officer, it would be a $50 for each hour that is spent, that is retained by LAFCO as revenue.
I'm just confused because you're getting through your work plan, also this 10% that also goes to you. It doesn't mean that that 10% is available for other expenses through our LAFCO expenses?
Yes.
Because it all goes to you.
No, the service fee revenue is retained by LAFCO, and that helps to offset the overhead costs associated with our organizational expenses.
Okay. Then what about the service fee revenue?
That is the service fee.
That's a service. Well, okay.
Yeah.
What I meant the other fees, expenses.
Okay. The other fees are, for example, the $400 was a map check fee to the county surveyor. The $970 was to the GIS contractor, or GIS, county GIS for doing APN lists and analysis for the application. And the $421, the map check fee went up $21, so that's also a map check fee.
Good. I'm testing you. Good memory. So when you do bookkeeping charges, I think you charge about $440 a month for your expenses. Does that include this? Is that part of the bookkeeping procedures?
It is, yes. It includes the assembling the claims, paying the claims, keeping the QuickBooks up to date and reconciled.
Put a lot of work into this, you know, and I'm not saying, $440 is pretty cheap for the services, but I just, you know, at what point do we really need all this information? I'm just questioning the need for it, because 5 years ago we were getting practically nothing. Now it's almost like I need a couple hours to read it all. Anyway, that's all I had. Thank you.
Commissioner Horsley?
But you need to keep this for yourself as well, don't you?
We do keep it. It certainly helps us at the end of the year when we're pulling together our audit materials. If the commission feels it is not necessary for the packet, we can certainly omit it. Just was trying to increase transparency.
I personally like it. I do have a question, though. The extra money that comes in, let's say somebody is applying for something and they have extra expenses over their original deposit. Would that difference go back to whomever needs it, or would you bill them additionally for what they owe as an agency?
It's a good question. Our policies state that we always have a deposit on file to work against. So when we get close to the end of that deposit, we request additional deposit to be on file, and then we continue doing that until the end of the application. If there's still deposit left on file, then we return that to them.
One more clarification, if I may. The attachment 2 is pretty much the same as page 17, where you have applications and special project, but they don't jive together. Is that because one is for multi-year and this one's just for the current year?
Correct.
So which one should we look at more importantly?
Well, for this fiscal year, then the tracking sheet on page 17 is most of the information that we discuss and talk about is on a fiscal year basis. So,
Okay.
and that would, this one on page 17 jives with the claims staff report. So that would probably be useful.
It's just a little confusing is all, but I understand it better now. Thanks. That's all.
Thank you. Commissioner Horsley?
I just wanted to say that I did ask UMA for the listing of special districts that paid this year and those that hadn't. I mean, I really appreciate that she has that information and those charts available. So I was, I will make sure that my agency pays because we haven't yet. But it's, I really appreciate the transparency. I don't want to spend time that we don't need to spend in duplicating information, but I do appreciate it.
Commissioner Ward?
Sorry. So, maybe you brought it up, so I'll bring it up. But the apportionment fees that we're receiving from the hospital district, now that they're assuming they're paying, I forgot to look at the report from the county, but I think it was around $8,000 that they pay now, which is substantial. Did that drop the cost to any smaller districts like cemetery districts? Because we have a certain amount of dollars, and now they're paying into it. So let's say the Westport Cemetery District, would they pay less?
It did adjust everyone slightly. It just really depends on the operational revenue of the previous fiscal year for each district. So it didn't drop for all districts, but that's primarily because those districts that it didn't drop for had a higher operational revenue the previous fiscal year.
Yeah.
So it did adjust through, it is taken into consideration in the apportionment for each of the districts though.
So some of the districts got a windfall, basically, for their apportionment fees for this particular year, maybe future years, because the district, the health district is paying more in.
Yes.
Okay. Which, I'd like to know that when we're going to talk budgets next month, right?
Mm-hmm.
See if we're going to increase our apportionment fees, I'd like to know the difference that some of these smaller districts saved versus what some may have had to pay more. But I think that's a big help for a lot of these little districts, having that health district paying their apportionment fees. So I'd like to look at that because I worry about, those are the districts I worry about when we do our budgets, the small ones that can't really afford it. All right, thank you.
Thank you. I'm not seeing any additional hands up, so I would be looking for a motion. Commissioner Klein.
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you. That was Klein and Roden. If we could have a roll call, please.
Just a moment. Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Commissioner Klein?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez? Commissioner Horsley?
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney?
Yes.
Commissioner Roden?
Yes.
Chair Mulhern?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we do not have any public hearing items today. We do not have any workshops today, and we can move on to agenda item 7A, the mid-year financial and work plan review, and the executive officer is going to report on this.
Thank you. This starts on page 40 of your agenda packet. This report summarizes our mid-year budget actuals and the work plan status. As a reminder, the adopted budget for this fiscal year was $328,500. Revenue consists primarily of apportionments collected from the county, the cities, and the special districts on a 1/3 basis, and has been $275,000 for the last several years. The auditor controller invoices and collects apportionments from our funding agencies, and according to the most recent draft financial report from the county, which was in early December, approximately 40% of the apportionments have been collected as of December 1st. Other revenue includes interest from our reserves account and the county treasury, and a portion of the service fees from application processing, which have been about $3,000 for the first half of the fiscal year. Expenditures at mid-year are approximately 45% of the budget, and the work plan budget reflects delays in the administrative draft reviews and collection of information to move the 4 individual studies forward that were started in fiscal year 24-25. The result has been delayed extensive Public Records Act request and a related lawsuit have resulted in unanticipated staff and legal counsel workload, and the result has been delayed aspects of the work plan and has expended the legal counsel budget. So as of January 1st, the legal counsel expenditures totaled about $97,000 of that budget line item, and 62% of those legal counsel expenses have been a direct result of the litigation and the extensive PRAs for that case. A budget amendment will be considered under our next agenda item to address those. Our reserves remain healthy with $50,000 in legal reserves consistent with policy and commission direction, and the operational reserves are slightly above our policy of 25% of our operations budget. I think it's about $2,500. We have an expansive work plan for this fiscal year, including completing of four studies that were initiated last fiscal year and initiating a multi-year county-wide study of fire and EMS, emergency medical service providers. The 4 studies remaining from last fiscal year include the City of Point Arena, the City of Willits, Mendocino Coast Recreation and Park District, and the Laytonville County Water District. We anticipate that the City of Point Arena will be the first study to come to the Commission as a workshop, with the Rec and Park District and the City of Willits following. We're still waiting for a response to our request for information from the Laytonville County Water District. They have had staff disruptions, and that has slowed the process for them. The fire and EMS studies are planned over a couple of years and include 18 districts throughout the county. We're also coordinating with 2 volunteer fire departments and Coast Life Support District, which is a bi-county district in both Mendocino and Sonoma counties. Sonoma is the principal county, so we won't be doing an MSR on them, but we will be including their statistics and information in our studies. So we've conducted outreach to lay the groundwork for the rolling out those studies, including presentations to the Mendocino County Fire Districts Association and the Fire Chiefs Association, as well as working with the Fire Safe Council coordinator, Emily Tecchio. Requests for information were distributed to all of the districts in December, and we've received responses from approximately 7 of those agencies so far. We are working on a white paper that will be a general overview of the services and trends, as well as issues, and that will help form a baseline from which we will tier our individual studies for the fire districts. Once we have that white paper prepared, we plan to do additional coordination with Ms. Tecchio and the Fire Chiefs Association and the Fire Districts Association, and we'll expect that in the next couple of months. The figure 1 on page 42 and attachment 2 on page 44 summarizes the current work plan and status to date. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Roden.
Well, first of all, I really like attachment 2. I don't know if you've done a graphic like that before, showing all of the entities that we're responsible for looking at, and it's a really nice way of showing what we've done and what we need to look forward to doing. So I wanted to thank you for that. I'm the Park and Rec District, Rec and Park, I can't remember, for the coast, Recreation and Parks District. You said that you're expecting that after the City of Point Arena, but it relates to the correspondence that you attached later in our packet, and their desire for some deeper information, some data that so far we haven't been able to get from the county actually refused to give place-based tax revenue data. What are your thoughts about that and dealing with it, and also in our ability, I guess the implication is our ability to do a comprehensive municipal service review without that?
So when we do municipal service reviews, we rely on available data and information. And our financial analysis is based on their budgets and their audits from the last 5 fiscal years. The level of detail that they are seeking would take extensive amount of time from the county offices, and is usually not something that we request or analyze unless we are actually looking at a reorganization. So it's outside the scope of the municipal service review process to go into that level of detail. So we have provided information about private agencies and businesses that do that kind of analysis. But we have been coordinating with the auditor controller, and it is beyond the workload capacity of their office to provide that kind of, and also beyond our capacity and beyond the scope of the MSR process.
And then a question about the white paper. What are you must have some, how did you come up with the idea of doing that? I don't recall us doing that before. How did you come up with that idea? And I know it's not written yet, but what are your thoughts about what you'll say in it?
What we're hoping to achieve is to provide a county-wide high-level view of services and issues to look for common issues and goals that are not being met for the agencies. And then by having that big picture, we'll be able to hold conversations with the agencies and with the organizations to take a look at where they can create efficiencies, where they might find additional funding. So to kind of help guide the conversation around these studies before we jump into the individual MSRs.
Have you done one before in Mendocino County? Have you approached
We have not
like this?
We have not approached it this way before,
Yeah, I didn't.
but this is we haven't also taken on so much at one time in a work plan. And because there's a lot of commonalities between the agencies as far as the issues, we're hoping to pull those out and have discussions around that as we move through the studies, instead of just bringing individual agencies in a silo for the commission.
How long do you think the white paper will be?
I'm not sure. We've been working on an outline, and we've been pulling in Ms. Tecchio to kind of help us with that. And then I'm not sure how long it will be.
Just like probably usually they're 3 pages or, just short.
It'll probably be a little bit longer than that. We kind of hope to use this as a kind of that global view of the services in the county, and pull together I know there's a lot of, the county is working on some issues related to EMS. There's also the districts themselves are working on various ideas about supporting ambulance services countywide. So we want to pull those into the discussion and be able to really.
And then will we be able to see the white paper before, or?
Yeah, I think that it will be important to kind of approach this study in phases and in steps with the commission to support the sharing of information and having the discussions before we launch into just workshops on each individual agency. So that's the intent.
I think it's a really good idea, so I look forward to seeing it. Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Ward.
Thank you. So the Laytonville Water District, I know we had the death of the general manager. Is there any update? It's been a few months now.
As I have been corresponding with their secretary, who has started the RFI, and she's working with the staff they have. I understand they recently lost their one of their operators also, so there's definitely a transition happening. But she is working on it and has been in touch with us.
How about the city of Point Arena? What's the delay there?
So they have had the administrative draft for a number of months now, and they've been just overwhelmed staffing capacity.
You need a person like you.
He promises this month.
So I was just expecting we're going to get a workshop maybe next month, because it's been like 3 months. I know you're going to bombard us with a bunch of workshop.
My hope is this next month, yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. I'm not seeing any additional pens, and I do want to make sure that there's not any public comment in the room or online.
There are no raised hands online.
Thank you. This item was just to receive the report, so we don't need a motion. We can move on to item 7B, a proposed budget amendment for fiscal year 25-26.
Thank you. So we've covered this in the previous, kind of an intro to it, but the budget line item in the fiscal year 25-26 annual budget is $15,000 for legal services. We have expended about 97% of that as of December 31st. So just an overview of the contract. It is an at-cost contract. Her hourly rate is $225 for general services, and with a litigation rate of $275 an hour. Approximately 62% of the expenditures have been on the lawsuit and also on the PRA requests, which she was managing in coordination with the City of Ukiah and County. So what we're proposing is shifting $10,000 from legal reserves to her budget line item. And the draft resolution is on page 47 of your agenda packet.
Thank you. Commissioner Horsley?
Yes, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said. You said that a certain percentage was for the lawsuit. What was the second thing you mentioned?
The PRA requests, so the Public
Okay.
Records Act request.
Commissioner Ward?
Thank you. How much have we spent so far on the lawsuit?
It's been about $6,400.
And how much on PRA?
I don't have a breakout of the PRA.
But we wouldn't have it if there wasn't a lawsuit.
Right, it was directly related from the same, from the plaintiff.
So I know you're trying to keep it separate, but it's costing us a lot, so. You're recommending take it out of the reserve account, but I believe it's stated here that the reduced amount for the legal reserve will still remain above the level consistent with our policy. That's not really true, is it?
Our policy states $35,000 for legal reserves. For the last 5 years, I believe, the commission direction has been to keep our legal reserves at $50,000. So it's below the last direction from the commission, but it is above our policy that's stated in our policies manual.
Okay, so have you thought about any other location? I mean, like our work plan, and we haven't spent a lot of the work plan.
Right, there may be ways to shift it between accounts.
Yeah.
I hesitate to dig into the work plan until we get a little further into the year. Just kind of depends on
We
how.
keep deferring a lot of these stuff, so we're saving a ton of money for this fiscal year. But I was just using as an example we could use. Do you feel, I mean, obviously it's a lawsuit. I know there's been some update, and you gave us some update, thank you. Do you anticipate 5,000 more, 2,000 more? Or are we pretty much done with this? Or what's your expectation? I don't want to do this one-time thing and then find out it wasn't enough down the road.
Council Birch, do you want to speak to that?
I'm happy to. I can give a more detailed update in closed session regarding, where we are in the litigation. This was my best estimate for what would make sense in terms of transferring some of that from the reserve into the active budget.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're not doing this again. And in any kind of lawsuit, you never know what's going to happen. Hopefully it'll all go away, but we don't know that yet. All right, that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you. So do you need, yeah, Commissioner Roden? Thank you.
Second.
That was a recommendation by Commissioner Roden, second by Horsley for the recommended action. We have roll call vote, please.
Thank you. Commissioner Roden?
Yes.
Commissioner Mahoney? Commissioner Horsley?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Klein?
Aye.
Commissioner Ward?
Oh, I hate this. I will agree with it, but I just think it's, wouldn't take us somewhere else, because we're just gonna have to put that money back with our new budget next year. Anyway, I guess we can do it. Can we do?
Chair Mulhern?
That was a long yes. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, less.
Okay. With that, we can move on to item number 7C, assign a voting delegate for CALAFCO's special board meeting.
Thank you. The staff report starts on page 49 of your agenda packet. The action before you today is to assign a voting delegate to the CALAFCO special board meeting on February 23rd. The staff report does have some background on the issues that are going to be on that agenda for the special meeting. I can briefly summarize those. The CALAFCO working group has been trying to address the concerns about transparency and representation for the last year and a half. So this is a proposal that is being considered by the CALAFCO board, is to move from 4 regions throughout the state to 9 regions, I believe. Mendocino is currently in the northern region, and then there's a coastal, a central, and a southern region. So with a number of so they have proposed a expanding to spread out the representation on the CALAFCO board a little bit more. So there would be, and right now we have a couple of regions and counties that have multiple representatives on the CALAFCO board, and that's just based on the way that their bylaws are written. So this is trying to expand that representation throughout the state more. It also, the current makeup of the CALAFCO board includes 4 regional executive officers. So each region elects a regional officer, and then that person sits on the CALAFCO board as a voting member. They are moving, so the proposal is to move that to opening up the eligibility from each region to executive officers and doing away with the regional officers. So the, let's see. That is essentially the gist of what's being considered at the special meeting. I guess the one last thing would be that they are considering doing away with the seat type. So each region elects a county, a special district, and a city and a public member to the CALAFCO board. And so they're talking about doing away with that and just opening it up to each of the 9 regions, either a commissioner or executive officer. That's my understanding of what's being proposed at the special meeting. So the request today is to assign a commissioner as a voting delegate to participate in that meeting and speak on behalf of Mendocino LAFCO.
Commissioner Ward?
So this delegate that we're putting in there, they have to be at the meeting?
It's a Zoom
The Zoom meeting?
yes.
Okay. So there's 2 items really here. Is one, electing the delegate here, and then also whether we agree having executive officers as a voting member, correct?
Correct.
Well, I don't want to support the idea of executive officers being members. I just think they've got too much control anyway for future LAFCO issues. So I'd like to just keep it with commissioners only, not executive. I'm going to vote against it. As far as a delegate, I'm not interested in that either. This time.
Uma, can you shed some, I see your pen, Commissioner.
Well,
Roden.
I'm happy to join the Zoom and be the delegate for Mendocino LAFCO, and I would support the changes.
Thank you. Yohiman, can you remind us why the decision was made to do the shift towards having executive officers? Why this conversation is happening?
I think that there has been difficulty in having enough commissioners expressed interest. We have some CALAFCO board members who have been on there a very long time, and it tends to be the same counties over and over. So for the northern region, it's often Butte County and Nevada County. And so I think in expanding that to executive officers, they are hoping for to provide additional opportunity for each county or region. And then there has been some discussion about the commissioners I think it's a matter of engagement. Not all commissions have very engaged commissioners, and so the executive officers often have more knowledge of what's going on in the LAFCO realm, and so they wanted to take advantage of that as well.
Thank you for that explanation. Any other commissioners have comments?
It doesn't change my
Commissioner
mind,
Ward.
but executive officers are on a long-term usually too. They're going to be there for a long, long time, whereas commissioners, you say, have been there, same commissioners over and over. Well, executive officers are going to be there too. They're the ones basically that are long-term in any LAFCO.
Thank you. Commissioner Gonzalez?
I think, I remember at CalLAFCO when they talked about this, they just had to add some variety, inject some new blood per se, but also, yes, some folks that they talk the talk, walk the walk when it comes to LAFCO issues. I guess the concern with some of the politicians were that some of the other folks that aren't there for forever, it's been a rotating, a lot of folks come and go so quick that they don't have a handle. That was the part. I would support it as long as I think when they start divvying up spots that it doesn't become weighted more on those versus sampling of it, so that it expands the board. It's not that the commission or be made up of just EOs eventually. So
I think that's an excellent point.
Commissioner Horsley?
So for me, the question is, are the EOs voting on their own thoughts, or is it based on their commission's desires and how they would want the vote to go?
I believe that they are similar to our commission, are speaking on behalf of LAFCOs across the state, or voting for the benefit of LAFCOs across the state. Is that
So
what you mean?
so the EO, if they were allowed to vote, they would get they would discuss it with their commission and get a consensus on which way they'd want a certain vote to go, and that's how the EO would vote, or would they be voting on their own reconnaissance, let's say? Which would it be?
Well, I haven't seen it written up, but I would say that that they would certainly want to have an engaged commission behind them.
I would think. One would think.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that would be caveat voting for a majority from commissions on certain issues.
Commissioner Roden?
Yeah, I think by having EOs, I mean, one thing that Uma pointed out is that counties like Mendocino, where we never have a commissioner who's on the board, or I don't know when the last time we did was, so Mendocino's voice is lost. But if Uma's interested in serving on the board, she now could do that, and she could bring the perspective of Mendocino County's rural, our situation to the CalLAFCO board. And it's an opportunity also for her to, like you're saying, to engage with us on issues that if she weren't involved in CalLAFCO, we would have no idea what was going on at the board, at the state level. So that's why I think it's a good idea. It's not really a power thing. It's that they're bringing the knowledge of the issues to the state level. And like I say, an opportunity, if Uma were interested, then she could bring those policy issues back to us, and we could become more engaged potentially, just as being educated about LAFCO.
Commissioner Ward?
I'm not worried about UMA. I'm worried about some of these other bigger LAFCOs, EOs, who've been there for years dictating to other commissioners what they need to do. That's all my concern. If it's just UMA, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I'm worried about these bigger ones.
Thank you for that added bit of information. I would look for a recommended action for an appointee. Delegate?
I would, since she's expressed an interest, I would nominate Mari to be our representative for the meeting.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Do we take a roll call on that?
Yes. Commissioner Mahoney? Commissioner Roden?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Horsley?
Yes.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Commissioner Klein?
Aye.
Chair Mulhern?
Yes.
Thank you.
Then I would, as part of this, also move that, I'm just going to throw it out, that support the request that LAFCO EOs be allowed to be members. Yes. Yes, I would include that.
Was that a second? Okay. And just for the record, Commissioner Roden, did you capture that?
Yeah, so basically she would canvass her board if hypothetically it was Ruma was elected there, that she would have to consult her.
Yeah, I would imagine there will be opportunities for discussion, and so as the delegate, if you could, yeah, thank you. And Commissioner, okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to express clarify further that having the EOs there is on behalf of their LAFCOs, representing the policies of their LAFCOs.
Great.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And we already had a roll. Well, let's have a roll call vote on that.
Okay. Commissioner Ward?
Oh.
Commissioner Klein?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Horsley?
Yes.
Commissioner Roden? Commissioner Mahoney?
Yes.
Chair Mulhern?
Yes. Thank you. We will now move on to item 8A, our information and report items, starting with the work plan, current and future proposals.
Thank you. I have a few updates that we haven't already gone through, so I won't repeat those. I do have a few updates on applications. The Corporation Yard annexation, I believe the City of Ukiah will be considering a resolution for a proposed tax share, and that they are working with the county on that, and I believe that's coming up this month. So we expect some movement on the Corporation Yard annexation. Once we have that, I believe we have a complete application and can move that forward for public hearing. There's been no movement on the Russian River Flood Control District annexation. We finally did receive the county auditor controller memo for the tax share agreement process for the Elk CSD application for latent powers. So that is in the negotiation period, and I believe that the county is working with the Elk CSD on that. So that one is actually some movement. We also met with members of the Anderson Valley CSD regarding their long-time planning for the water and wastewater service. So they'll be coming to LAFCO to activate those latent powers. They are finally have a final engineering report that they have submitted for allocation of funding from the state. So they're getting much closer on that, and they are, with that in process, they're completing their CEQA in the next month or two. So we expect that to continue, just start moving forward as well. That's all I have for applications, unless there are questions. We already did an update on the work plan.
I believe Commissioner Ward and then Commissioner Klein.
On the Anderson Valley, wasn't there a tax sharing problem too?
I believe there's essentially a stalemate with the tax share negotiation for the application to annex their sphere of influence.
So how can we push that?
I did reach out to the district, and they would like to just wait for a little bit while they kind of regroup and think through their options.
What about Elk? Elk's in the same position, right? Tax sharing agreement.
Elk is going to be providing an enterprise service, so it'll be a service for fees, which typically is a no tax share. It's a
But you
tax
still
share
need
for
a-
no exchange of
You just
taxes.
still need a letter stating that there's
Yes.
no tax.
Right.
So once we get that, we can complete that one.
Yes.
Boy, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Commissioner Klein.
Yes, thank you. My question's in line with Commissioner Ward's around tax sharing agreements. I see you have noted, and as you mentioned, for the corporation yard annexation for the city of Ukiah, it says the application is incomplete pending a tax share agreement. So with our master tax sharing agreement between the county and the cities in place, how does this differ from that not falling under the master tax sharing agreement?
This is an individual, it's a single parcel that is under city-owned ownership. So I am not sure the details, but it has to do with the taxes that are collected for a city-owned property. And I would have to ask more questions about that and get back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Horsley?
Thank you. On page 61, under CEQA, you mentioned the fact that unless an agency proposes a non-coterminous SOI, what if it's coterminous but it expands it? Would that require CEQA?
If there's any change in the sphere of influence, it would trigger CEQA.
I thought so. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I don't see any additional questions. Our next item would be correspondence received.
We do have a letter that was received in your packet, and it's on 62 at the end of your packet. And it's from the Mendocino Coast Recreation and Park District.
Commissioner Ward?
Yeah, this was brought up earlier, right? I think Commissioner Roden brought it up. Can we apply for that information and then charge them the cost?
They have been offered to, they could apply to the county auditor for a special project to obtain that information. That is an option. There are also entities out there that buy that kind of data from counties, and they can do that analysis at cost.
Are they aware of that?
They are.
Okay. They haven't made a decision yet.
I don't believe so.
And that will, this will certainly be information we'll want to have in the MSR, correct?
It goes beyond what we're required to do in an MSR.
But if we have the information, we can add it.
If the information were available, then that is something that we could consider in an MSR, but it really is beyond
Okay.
the scope.
All right. Hopefully they move forward with it.
Thank you. I'm not seeing any additional questions. Is there an update from CALAFCO's business and legislative report beyond what we've already discussed?
No, nothing further.
Thank you. And then anything on item 8D, additional executive officers reports?
I do have a few items. Actually, for the CALAFCO, I just wanted to remind folks that there is a CALAFCO U LAFCO 101 webinar on February 25th. And Mr. Alfano, you might be interested in that, and I can send that information to you. So for the executive officers report, I did want to note that there is a new law in place for SB 827 that requires that all local agency officials take 2 hours of fiscal and financial training every 2 years. So this goes along kind of like with the ethics training and the Brown Act training. CSDA is providing a free webinar to its members on March 4th from 1 to 3. I did sign up for that, and we'll be doing that. There's also going to be an in-person training put on by CSDA at the Lake County Fire Protection District in Clear Lake on March 26th.
Can you say that?
Sure, be happy to.
Is that mandatory?
So it is mandatory for local agency officials, including directors, general managers, executive officers.
Huh.
I'm sorry? It's a fiscal and financial training.
What if we don't pass?
You're out of here.
I don't know, Mr. Treasurer. I will email that information to everyone, and feel free to share it.
Thank you.
think
Are there
that's-
any committee reports? Seeing none, are there any commissioners that have reports, comments, or questions? Okay, seeing none, we will move into closed session. We have 2 items on closed session. A conference with legal counsel regarding an existing litigation and a personnel evaluation. I do want to make sure that I call for public comment if there's any members of the public that wish to comment on either of these items.
No hands are raised.
Thank you.
Where are we meeting?
We're meeting in the IT conference room,
That's located.
left.
It's down at the end of this hallway here on the right-hand side, just past the courtyard area. What's that?
Okay. I'll follow you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. And actually, if one of the supervisors could let us in with their key card, that would be great. Just for those on Zoom, we will leave this meeting open and come back in to report out at the end.
Mendocino County LAFCO Commission session. There's